Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl. This version is available on PlayStation and Xbox via the S.T.A.L.K.E.R Legends of the Zone Trilogy collection. S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl is a first-person shooter survival horror game developed by GSC Game World. This edition has been specifically recalibrated for the console market with quality of life improvements and graphical upgrades. You play as the Marked One, a stalker who enters the zone on dangerous missions. The zone is a region full of hostile military factions, dangerous creatures and ever-changing anomalies that can cause death in an instant. The game is based on the S.T.A.L.K.E.R movie directed by Tarkovsky, which in turn was based on the novel Roadside Picnic written by renowned Soviet authors, the Strugatsky brothers. Okay, gameplay. S.T.A.L.K.E.R takes place in a very dangerous game world featuring first-person combat that doesn't pull any punches. Death will come in an instant, so you'll be using cover, flanking manoeuvres and any weapons or items that you can find. You'll have to fend off hostile enemies, wild dogs, radiation hotspots and many other surreal threats. It's old school gaming at its best, with ruthless shootouts, high stakes gameplay and a steep learning curve for new players. But these are the things that make S.T.A.L.K.E.R such an immersive and satisfying game to play. Once you find your feet, get some body armour, a few decent weapons and special artefacts that give you boosts, you'll finally start to make inroads into the interesting story. It's a game that in many ways you can trace back to the origins of survival horror, extraction shooters and even the survival game genre. And also, things that I should mention, the AI is really good. In an era today where AI is lauded, but gaming AI is pretty awful, S.T.A.L.K.E.R did it so well back in the day. An example of this was in an early mission, I had to go find this corpse to obtain an item that he was carrying. When I got there were these wild dogs, they attacked me, I went to high ground to pick them off. Then, one of the cheeky dogs started dragging the corpse into their den. And it's little details like this that make the zone feel alive, and it gives the game an added boost in terms of its believable yet fantastical atmosphere. The game has some really tense missions, and some of the firefights are just unforgettable, with you playing a game of cat and mouse in order to survive. It also feels like a living world with other stalkers wandering around, different factions having conflicts with each other. You know, things are going on, and these supernatural elements as well. Visually, smooth for a remaster, and it's still a very pleasant game to look at. Yes, maybe it's a little bit old now, so functionally, does it hold up to scrutiny? Just about. The menus I'd say could have been better, they could have been more accessible for the console market, but generally you can get by. Sound, well, this is one area that the remaster really doesn't do correctly. Like, the sound work has not been remastered, bearing in mind this game came out in an era before headphones were commonly used. The sound levels are chaotic to say the least. Please do not play this with headphones because the volume levels go from dead quiet to just eardrum bursting levels. It's a shame because everything else is very well tuned, but that's something you need to bear in mind. Play it on TV speakers or something like that. But aside from that, I like the voice acting, the effects, the atmosphere, the ambience, the music. Good stuff.
Шухер! Опа! Ливер вылез.
Okay, good and bad points. What's good? The game world is tense, dangerous and interesting. Combat is brutal, rewarding and addictive. The scavenging play combined with the supernatural dangers make for some fascinating gameplay, and the controls work well on this console port. Bad points? The sound work hasn't had the due care applied to its remaster that it should have, and aside from the menus not being that accessible, there's not too much to pick holes in. Okay, verdict. S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl is a tense, rewarding and fascinating journey into a dangerous, surreal and menacing game world. With an interesting narrative, various factions, a world that feels alive and a great atmosphere, S.T.A.L.K.E.R is still one of the best games of its era. But not only that, it was ahead of its time in many ways, and its influence can be seen and felt in so many modern games. I loved it back in the day, and if you've never tried it, please give it a go, but be ready for some early pain, but once you get beyond that, it is a really immersive and satisfying experience. Scoring, I'd give S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl 9 out of 10. Okay, that's the review. Thank you for watching. This is PG, signing off. Cheers.